So proper alignment during squatting in all lower extremity patterns is crucial in corrective exercise. A lot of times we cue our clients to create certain patterns and habits that aren't always ideal. Maybe they're better than what they were doing, but they still create compromises and compensations in the body. So I'll show you a couple of them and then how and what we do to cue people out of those and restore more optimal functioning of the TPC, the thoracolpelvic canister, as well as the hip and pelvis region. I'm going to have Emily perform a regular squat the way that most of us cue our clients to do a squat, and then we'll break it down and show you what's going on with it. So she'll do just like about 3 repetitions. So as Emily goes into a squat, a lot of trainers have their clients look up, keep their head extended, looking up, eyes towards the ceiling. They have them stick their butt back. So it's not a bad looking squat overall, but let's take a look at, stop right there. We'll take look at a couple things here. You see the hyperextension through a cervical thoracic junction. So that's terrible on her lower neck, where most of the disc herniations are. We see hyperextension through her thoracic spine. Again, terrible for that thoracolumbar region. And what happens to a lot of our clients is what you don't really see happening is she's relatively starting to flex through her low back. So even though it looks like she's still anterior tilted, which she relatively is, it's starting to create some posterior tilting and some lumbar spine flexion because of that extension driven through her thoracolumbar region. And she's got huge erector tone. Relax out of this position. Oof. And yeah, and even though it doesn't feel, she's just doing body weight, she still has a lot of load on her body because of the poor mechanics. I'm going to turn her around so you can see from the posterior side what we're looking at. So do the same thing for me again, Emily. And stop right there, and you see the cervical thoracic hyperextension. We see the increased thoracic tone, and you see this huge muscle bulk, and that's without any load in her arms, a bar across her upper back, and it creates some slight flexion of her lower lumbar spine, which creates a lot of our problems and the disc problems that we have in our clients. So now sort of come out of that position and relax. Shake that out. Because again, you see just in a couple repetitions how much you can overload somebody's spine, and now if you're performing a whole exercise routine with that and with load on their spines, you can see how it can start to break them down pretty quickly. Turn and face the door again, please. So one thing we want to think about doing is, I'm going to have Emily place one hand on her upper chest and one hand on her abdomen. We want to maintain that thoracolpelvic canister. So when she squats, we want this section of her body to be maintained. If we want to create that nice long spine position and stabilized spine position. When she squatted earlier, she had disconnect of her anterior abdominal wall, of the anterior thoracolpelvic canister. We want those ribs to feed down into the pelvis to maintain a neutral spine, and neutral pelvis, to start to unload the spine. These types of squatting postures, especially with a bar behind your back, will start to overload the thoracic spine and create reflexive flexion of the lumbar spine. That's where a lot of our low back problems come from, and those patterns can drive in dysfunction. So again, I'm not saying don't perform barbell squats and deadlifts and things like that, but just think about the mechanics and what's happening to the spine in your clients that are performing these patterns. So now, with her hand on her chest and abdomen, she can monitor her own position. I want to see her hands maintained in this alignment throughout her squat, up and down, and her eyes looking straight ahead, not looking up. In fact, her chin should almost feel like it's slightly tucked as she goes down, but her eyes can still look up to still create that reflexive extension sort of reaction in the body. So she stays neutral, even though it may feel like she's coming in a descended type position. So again, her eyes can look up, but the head will stay neutral relative to the spine, the rest of the spine, okay? So again, she's going to squat. She can still sit the hips back. I want her to maintain position of the thoracolpelvic canister. Nice, right there. And again, much less erector tone, much better alignment. She can even get a little longer through that neck. Nice, 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 nice. Keep those ribs connected, and now come back out of that position. As far as the hips are concerned, I want her to sit back and release those posterior hips. Good positioning. Now come back up out of it, and she stays nice and neutral through this posture. She should have no change in her hand position if she's maintaining good core control of the thorax over top the pelvis. One more time. Nice, 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 nice. And she goes down as far and squats down as far as she can maintain this alignment. Then come back out. And of course, we have not said it, but of course she's going to maintain alignment through the lower extremity and the tripods of the feet. And that's where you'll really start to pick up how unstable and compensatory some of our clients' patterns are, is because they should really be squatting down to the position or the depth that they can control all these factors. The thorax over top the pelvis and the lower extremities. Let's show her from the back one more time. Keep the same alignment, Emily. So I want her to think long through the spine, good connection through the thorax and the pelvis. She's going to sit back in her hips, so go ahead and sit back, maintain that alignment, and you see a lot less thoracolumbar erector tone. Again, she gets some, but not as much as she had before. Maintains a much more neutral spine position. Now come back up out of that position, stay nice and connected, stay activated through here, come back down again. Nice. Nice longer spine position, and come back out of that position. And we'll do it one more time. Sit back in the hips. Good. Nice. Right there. Perfect. And come back up out of that position. And that's what a squat should look like. Even if she starts to load with a dumbbell, medicine ball, she still wants to maintain this alignment here. If you have to do barbell squats, or you want to do barbell squats, you're going to modify this position the best you can. But for some clients, it will start to break them down very quickly because they'll start to hyperextend. So put your arms like as if you're going to do a barbell squat. And you can see even putting her arms in that position causes her to hyperextend. And now if she's going to try to squat, go ahead and squat down. Too many of our clients will start to keep going, keep going, keep going. And you start to see the deeper, deeper, deeper groove in her thoracolumbar region. And she starts to get real flat and hyperextended through her thoracic spine. And that's what starts to create a lot of compensatory changes down in her lumbar spine. Relax. Nice. Out of that, because of how it locks up your thorax and makes you move somewhere, which is going to be down here at the lumbosacral junction, and that's why most of the disc herniations happen at the lumbosacral junction of the low back. So again, just another way to cue a proper squat position and really start to unload the spine for clients that have too much spinal compression, which is many of our clients, and poor stabilization strategies through the entire lower extremity.